Why is there a giant pipe organ in this museum?
I could tell you that.
Hey guys, this is DJ Space Dude. I'm here at Northlands, the world's largest miniature wonderland located here in Flemington, New Jersey. I have a really cool opportunity today to interview one of the train engineers. So let's take a listen. Here I'm joined with Kevin, who's a train engineer for Northlands, who has been working here for over 3 years now. Kevin, thank you for meeting with us.
Thank you.
What is your earliest memory of Northlands?
We would come out here and visit Northlands because it was a cool thing to do. And I have fond memories of Bruce, the original builder architect of here. Bruce would, built this whole place. One man, well, he had friends help him, but it was all Bruce's brain, all his craziness. But he loved music. He would have this stage behind us. You can kind of see the one there, and he would play.
So we got a last minute interview here. This is Joe, who has been here for a few years before when Bruce actually used to be here and work here. So it's really cool to be able to get this opportunity to get your perspective here. What was your first memory of Northlands?
My first memory of Northlands was probably in early 2000, me coming to Northlands. I came probably, I don't know, once a month, maybe once every 2 months. My parents would always bring me. And one of my fondest memories was around the holidays, Christmas time. It would be coming to Northlands, and maybe every half hour or every hour, Bruce would have an organ concert. He would almost never acknowledge the people in the organ hall. He would always, look towards the organ. He was very mysterious about that. He was a performer, so he wanted to kind of give off that, I guess, performing vibe. That was a really fun memory. I always watched him play the organ, and for sure the trains. I was always into trains.
Yeah.
So, seeing the train layout and watching him disappear through the train layout and reappear in another area, and so that was always cool seeing that.
So tell me more about Bruce. What was he like?
So Bruce was an interesting guy. I met him a few times when I was working here, but mainly the guy who trained me. He worked under Bruce and then kind of taught me everything I knew through that as I was working here with the trains. So Bruce was the best word is eccentric, very eccentric. See, he wasn't really a model railroader per se, he was an artist, so part of his art was through music. So he enjoyed being a concert organist, and in the case of the trains, he wanted to create a massive world with the mountains, the bridges, and the trains kind of brought his creation together, gave life to his work. He's still going strong. He's about 88 or 89 right now. He, from what I've heard, still has an organ at his current home. I think he lives down somewhere in the south, but he still plays the organ, from what I know. Yeah.
When I would come in, Bruce had his hat. He had his crazy hat. You can see in the pictures. You might, if you show the picture behind us. Always had Bruce's hat. Very eccentric gentleman. Extremely intelligent. A little cantankerous. What's that word?
Cantankerous?
Cantankerous. Yes, that's it. A little hard to pull information out of him. You had to kind of bug him a little bit. It was kind of like the grumpy old man. So he'd kind of do that. But he was okay with it. So that's the way he was. But say, Bruce, can you play the keyboards? Oh yeah. Yeah, he'd jump on that.
Nice. So he was somebody who was like, once you kind of prodded him a little bit, the information just kind of came out, like he had it in there.
He wanted to say it, he wanted someone to pull it out of him, Yeah. We have a video, and this might be some on YouTube, that goes through him interviewing, like a movie they made of him. It's it's about 10 minutes long. It's later in Bruce's life, so he says this is his life. He talks about how this was his calling. And that people said he was crazy, and that he lost friends and relatives over this place because they just thought he was nuts. And he kept with it. And I'm kind of surprised he's not here, but I guess, like anything, you kind of move on. And I suspect he's just moved on and happy. Yeah, hopefully he is, because I have nothing but respect for him. He was involved in strategy games, so he had that kind of mindset.
Oh, okay.
We still have some of them up here. He was, well, in the early days of PCs.
Yeah.
When you would feed in 20 million floppies,
Right.
He was cutting edge, very smart. To create a place like this, it's one of a kind.
Wow.
Nothing like Northlands out there.
Yeah.
The only story we really hear all the time from people who knew him is that he lived nearby. He kept building onto his house, his basement. He would build new basements to add his trains. And every year he'd open house and he'd have a bus come by, take people to his house so you could go through his basements and see all his trains. Until he eventually bought this property. This is kind of a unique, weird shaped property. Behind you, you have the river, Raritan River. In front of you have Route 202. So it's kind of a weird layout. You know, you can't really do too much here. And he decided to finally, I guess he got this and built Northlands. So.
The original location for, well, not Northlands, but it was called the Flemington Central and Navigation Railroad. It was his own private train club layout, which is located down the road from here in a town called Three Bridges, about a mile away. And back in the early, maybe late 80s, early 90s, he had built 5 additional basements. I guess back in the 70s too even. He built 5 additional basements onto his home in Three Bridges, and at some point installed a organ inside of it, the same one that's here, the Wurlitzer, a console downstairs, and I assume similar pipes or the same pipes that were there were also moved here, or he might have just bought new ones when he built Northlands. But at one point there were at least 2, maybe 1 pipe organ and 2 large electric ones. He also lived at Northlands. When he built Northlands, he purposely built an apartment into the building, the floor plan, and he had his main floor, his room, his bedroom had a sunken-in floor, so the organ could fit there and be rolled away when they were done using it in his actual house. Wow. So yeah, it was interesting to you never hear of a train museum having an organ in it. So he combined a lot of his different passions into Northlands.
You could just have a choir and everyone could just get one of these, and instead of singing the note they could just play the note. That I would see that. That would be cool. It's such a shame that this is all going away, because like I would see a group of people with different organ pipes just playing them like they were flutes or something. That to me just sounds like it would be really cool. Oh, and these were flattened. It's such a shame. These they were just trampled on. These parts of the instrument here. Oh wow. Oh my goodness. And all these little aluminum ones for the really high notes. Oh my goodness. And in the end here you have these giant woodwinds here. And it just keeps going. Nice. These little tiny ones. English horn, high E. Whoa. That's really cool. And each individual ones of these is a specific note. When the organ was played, I was told these flaps open up and reveal the pipes to the sanctuary, so the sound just travels right out in different spatial ways, and it's just so neat how this was all just engineered to do that just from controlling the pipe organ. That's crazy. And you can just tune them and adjust them however you like. What is this? Key of C. OP? I'm not sure what that stands for. Wow. That's incredible. That sounds so cool. My goodness, I couldn't imagine how it sounded with all of it together. So tell me, why is there a giant pipe organ in this museum?
I wish I could tell you that. As you said, there is a giant pipe organ here. Rolls out on the stage and the vents open and you've seen all the pipes. He used to have the pipe organ in the center, the white,
Allen?
the Allen, yes, the Allen. And then over on the left, he'd have a stack of synthesizers. And I think he did concerts.
He would put on concerts himself.
Yeah, I think so. He made a CD at one point, I think.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure there was a CD that had him playing.
He was a self-made millionaire, so his original company, QQP Productions, or Incorporated, he made video games in the 70s, 80s, 90s. That's what made him into a large, eccentric millionaire who can build something like this.
Yeah.
And through several affiliated companies, he was able to produce that CD. And I think there's about 10 songs on there, maybe 10, 12 songs.
Yeah.
We used to play them over the sound system we have here, but now we play like train songs.
So you mentioned he has concerts here.
Yeah, so back in the day he would have concerts mainly around the holidays, but I'm pretty sure he had them in the other months, but maybe not as frequently. He would do it like every half hour, maybe every 40 minutes, every hour. He would have a concert, play 2 or 3 songs, and he would leave the front desk. Someone else would sell tickets, and he'd come up and play the organ for an hour or 2. It was really something seeing that, because you only hear pipe organs at like a church, and for me, I grew up going to church, so I would always hear an organ at church, and I come here and I'm like going to see trains, I'm like, oh cool, organ, and I was a young kid like that, not tall, I was a young kid, but still it was really impressive seeing that. And at one point, right now, not at least, but when the place was built, it was built so it was an actual functioning organ hall. The main entryway from what is now the gift shop into the organ hall was slightly elevated to give the look of forced perspective, to make it look like it was a larger organ hall. So there was a slight incline in the floor. There were like red velvet seats going all around both the organ hall and upstairs, which is now currently a playroom, but that used to be tiered seating as you went along. So there were about at least maybe 150, 200 seats.
Wow.
So you could, full house. You could, if he really wanted to, I'm sure he did. He probably had full house concerts here at one point in time.
Wow. Did anyone else come in to play the pipe organ?
Over the past couple of years, the pipe organ, not to my knowledge, but the electric organs, yes. We've had several people come in who are like, I can play the organ, and they're like, okay, and they just, start playing some songs, yeah.
Nice.
But to my knowledge, it's pretty much only him who knew how to play. I probably am wrong. I'll have to ask some friends of mine, but he for the most part was the one who played it.
Wow.
Do you know when the pipe organ stopped working, when it was last played?
I don't think it worked ever since I've been here.
Oh, I see.
So it turns on, like the light lights up.
Yeah.
But I've never saw it work since I started working. I saw it as, when I was younger. So probably at least 5 years ago, maybe longer. Hasn't worked. Because there's those walls of relays that you've got to
a lot to patch
fix. I don't know who does that. If anybody out there knows who can fix that kind of stuff, I think it's a lost art.
Has there been any maintenance attempts to try to resurrect?
Yeah. So about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, me and the guy who trained under Bruce, Chase, he knew him very well. He was here with Bruce for about a year, maybe a year and a half, and they worked together. Bruce taught him everything he knew, and when Chase was still here, we attempted for about a week or 2 after work on our own time. We stayed, tried to get the organ to work. We turned on the blower downstairs. We were trying to fiddle with the pipes and fiddle with the actual console. There's so much that goes into this. You have to be part musician and part mechanic to actually get it to work again. From what, at least we couldn't do it. We got a couple notes to work on the organ, but we couldn't get it to a point where it was actually functional again, like the Allen organ is. So, but we tried, and there was an attempt from the Flemington Organ Society to come in to try and repair it, or spend some volunteer hours, but that never panned out. So it just kind of sits dormant pretty much for the better part of 25 years now, at least. Because I think in the later years, before Bruce left about 4 or 5 years ago, he only played the Allen organ. He never played the Wurlitzer. Again, you have to be part musician and part mechanic to get it to work again. So,
do you remember when when it stopped working, like when it was last played, the pipe organ?
Last played as in a couple notes, or played functionally?
Functionally.
Before I started here.
I see. Okay.
Before I started here. So if I could guess, anywhere between 5 or 10 years ago, because in that time, I would come like once in a while, and the place was getting more and more decrepit. The layout was getting dusty and dirty, and trains were breaking down as Bruce got older and older and couldn't do what he used to do when he built the place. And around that time is when I remember the organ concerts, at least on the Wurlitzer, stopped, and he would just go on the Allen organ. So for whatever reason, but he stopped playing the Wurlitzer.
What do we have going on here?
This is the blower room. This is like kind of like command central when it comes to the actual air that supplies the pipe organ. So this here is like the actual blower on our left here. The air intake is outside. It sucks air through from the outside and then kind of feeds it into the organ, and it transfers it through all these different pipes, and that all works. It's just our thinking is all the relays up top here is what is not working.
I see.
So,
Gotcha.
yep. Yeah. And everything here, it's all different ages. That like some of this is newer leather that was applied, but then there's some older leather behind me on some of these other different ones. And almost everything here was supplied by the organ supply company out of Erie, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
They supplied these pipe organ rectifiers. I think some of these these like control boards, whatever they're for. But it's just a whole rat's nest of wiring.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Yeah. So can we?
Yeah.
All right. To demonstrate the blowers.
We'll turn it on. Yeah.
Sweet. Awesome.
Here's the main turn on switch.
Without someone playing them and really focusing on them, it's just not really part of what Northlands has become.
Yeah.
And what it's going to become, I guess. So, which I can't really predict, as I'm not the owner, but there's obviously a different direction they want to go in, and I don't think it involves the stage so much.
What do you think is the future of that pipe organ?
I think it's going to be a display piece.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to, I don't think they'll get rid of it.
Oh, nice.
I think they'll keep it. You saw how you can walk behind and see all the blowers and the pipes. So I think they'll keep that.
Okay.
And allow guests to see that.
Nice. I came here a few times when I was a kid, and I was a Thomas
kid,
nerd.
by the way. So,
True. Still am a kid when I was younger, but I was quite the Thomas nerd growing up. So it was all about the trains. But me being a kid, I never knew this was here. This was just put away and concealed, and so to bring that out, to open that up, to show that to people is.
I think it would be great. Well, so many people that come in here say they don't even know what Northlands is or what it was, or they come by and say, "Oh, I had to come in. I've been going by here for years. Thought I'd stop in," and they appreciate it. And we appreciate them doing that, and they usually go, "Wow, I didn't know this was here." So,
How do they visitors normally react to when they find out or see that there's a giant
mostly
organ?
I hear a lot of screaming. Especially the little guys. You'll be working on a scene upstairs, and all you hear is this screaming, literally screaming, as they come running through, and you hear thump, 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 thump. Dad, look at this, or come on. They're just running through the place.
Nice.
Parents are like trying to, slow down.
Rolling back a little bit.
Rolling back. And we've got a lot of people that come almost every weekend. The regular annual pass people that just come in and look for something new every time.
Yeah.
I see stuff new every time. I've been here 3 years. I still see, I don't remember that. Did someone just put that in?
Nice.
Because no, that's been there.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it.
Do you know what the future is for this organ?
That's a very loaded question. The future of this organ depends on the future of Northlands. At the end of the day, if Northlands goes somewhere and doesn't come back, then the organ goes too. I remember hearing rumors about someone wanting to possibly purchase the organ and all the piping work, but that would, I mean, the console is one thing. If someone were to buy the console, that can easily be saved. You know, move it out, moving truck. But all this is all custom built, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So you'd have to remove it and then somehow rig it up again. I don't even know how you could do that. And if it doesn't work, then it's taking up space pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, there's a large facade in front of this, which makes up the organ hall. And if it's wasted space and the owners don't want to use it for something else, I hope they wouldn't, but who knows? So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard any of the visitors who came in give any sort of perspective, any interest in the pipe organ? Have they ever heard any comments or anything about it being here?
Not so much the pipe organ, because some people don't even realize it's here. But when I do tell them about it, when they've asked them, like, oh, that's cool, and then kind of like dismiss it. If they're not really like into music, then they don't really care. They think it's cool. It's like, oh, cool organ. Can it play? No. Okay. And once in a while, we get a really hardcore, someone who loves instruments, music, is really good at at making or producing music or playing a certain instrument, and they'll like really, oh, I want to see it, and we give them a little private tour, show them all the stuff back here, and but most customers come here with their kids who want to see trains, and this was Bruce's toy. It was his, this was his pleasure. He enjoyed doing this. This was not. It was like an added bonus to the trains. That was my way of looking at it. And then once he left, all his knowledge got taken with him. So, it just sits here.
I think what we were saying earlier about organs, they are very much a lost art. And so many people treat them like it's just garbage and they throw them out or get rid of them. But I think if you guys can salvage this and make it something educational for people to say, hey, you know what? An instrument used to take up a building size worth of just producing sound. I think kids can really take a lot out of that.
Do you think that spirit of having these organs here, do you think that will carry on now that Bruce has left?
Northlands was always known for its charm. It's like whimsical nature. So I'd like to think it will stay, but since Bruce has left, I've just seen it go down and down, and more things have become more corporate, in my opinion, than when Bruce was here. Because he had a level of this was his baby. The organ, the trains. This here was his. It was built by more than one person, but it was mainly his brainchild. So, when the creator leaves, it so kind of does the magic, if you will.
Yeah.
Or the whimsical nature of it. But, it's kind of like a ghost of his former self, in my opinion. That's how me and my friends have seen it.
What is the future of Northlands?
I don't know a whole lot, just being honest, because I don't know. I think they're going to continually improve Northlands. There's been a lot of great changes, new scenes, new fresh look. I think they want to keep going in that direction, make it more of an attraction for people, more things to do here, not just trains. So that's where I think it's going to go. Now maybe the outside train might, change and morph into something else, or may become bigger or better. I'm not sure. But I think there's a lot of potential, and I think that's the direction they want. They want more than trains here. Want to spice it up, kick it up a notch. All right. Thank you, man.
Thank you very much for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you.
For the video, awesome. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you
no
very
problem.
much.
All right, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you want to check out our video of me reviewing all of the organs in this building, check it out right here, and I will see you all in the future. Stay awesome.